everybody, and welcome to the Wrestling with Connor podcast. Like always, I want to thank you for joining me and the continued support from everybody. It is greatly appreciated, and I love you all. So, today, I'm going to be going over my Fastlane 2021 predictions. There's a few matches that got taken off of this, so it might be a little shorter of a prediction episode than I actually thought. I thought it would be short, but 3 matches are not advertised now. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get right into the episode. Alrighty, once again, thank you for joining me. Before I get into the prediction episode, I'm sitting here and I'm watching Evolve episode 5. They as in the network, or WWE, since the network will be gone in a matter of 2 weeks. They've been putting on these old Evolve shows. They started with putting some from a couple years ago on, not necessarily in any order, but I noticed they put on Evolve 1. They released that onto the network, and I thought, oh, that's cool, because they've got tons of guys that are either on AEW or in WWE now on there, but I just noticed they put Evolve 5 on here, and this is a very interesting show. Just listen to the... I apologize for my screechy chair here. Listen to the matches, or just the wrestlers that are on here. First match, we've got Mike Quackenbush versus Chuck Taylor. Chuck Taylor is in AEW now. We have a match with Aeroform versus Up in Smoke. Not sure who those two tag teams are. But then we have Adam Cole versus Jimmy Jacobs. That is an interesting one. Drake Younger versus Sami Callihan. And Sami Callihan is in Impact Wrestling now. We have Johnny Gargano in a 6-way match, which I'm assuming there are other wrestlers in here that I know, because the next 2 slides here, we've got Homicide interrupting Johnny Gargano, and then Jon Moxley says he demands a rematch with Brody Lee. And that's only halfway through the show here. This is from 2010. September 11th, 2010. Next match is Mercedes Martinez versus Awesome Kong. And then we've got Jimmy Jacobs again, backstage, taunting Johnny Gargano. It looks like Johnny Gargano is in a Pikachu shirt. Next match is Ricochet versus Kyle O'Reilly. You see what I'm getting at here. This is a slew of talent packed into less than 2 hours. And the main event is Daniel Bryan versus Minoru Sawa. And I'm going to be having this plan the whole time I am recording this, because this is definitely something I have great interest in. I love these old indie shows, especially when they've got guys that are now known. I mean, Daniel Bryan is about to main event Fastlane tomorrow, which we will be talking about right now. Those 3 matches that were originally advertised for Fastlane, which were Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon, Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura, and Riddle versus Mustafa Ali. All three have been taken down of either Wikipedia, which, yes, not a very good source, but WWE has taken them down as well. So I am curious to see if they will just have a pre-show or if these matches are just gone altogether. So we shall see. Either way, I will give my predictions on these matches. First with Shane McMahon versus Braun Strowman. I think this is kind of a weird match anyways. Shane McMahon just kind of showed up, I believe, to confront Braun Strowman, and they created some sort of storyline out of it. Which, maybe this is better, it's not on the pay-per-view. But if it did, I think Braun Strowman would win this. This may have ended up being one of those big brawls that Shane has, what goes backstage, kind of like what he had with Kane back in 2003, I believe. Next we have Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura, also no longer advertised. I think this was potentially the best match on the card. It had the potential of being that. But now it's not advertised, so what's there to say about it, to be honest? If it does end up being on the show, you'll hear my review of it, and I guess I'll have to just tell you what happened. But I don't know what's going to come of this match or the next one. Riddle, the U.S. champion, well, this one's very surprising that it's not advertised since it's a championship match, versus Mustafa Ali. I'm very confused cutting this match out since this was for a title. If these matches aren't actually cut out and something just happened between the time that I read it and put this out, I apologize. But I looked up last night the matches and I wrote them down, and then this morning I checked it again to see if anything got changed, and it did. So yeah, Riddle's been kind of taunting Mustafa Ali lately, acting kind of funny and just kind of annoying the shit out of him. But yeah, it's cut out. So now let's get into the actual show here. We've got Randy Orton versus Alexa Bliss. This is going to be a interesting match. I hear people saying it's going to be a cinematic match. I don't know if it's going to be a cinematic match. I think The Fiend will be returning here. I don't think anything physical will happen between Randy Orton or Alexa Bliss, which could be why it's going to be a cinematic match, possibly. But either way, I think The Fiend will be returning here, and possibly Randy loses. I could see Alexa Bliss winning, and with the help of The Fiend, or Alexa Bliss, I don't know what they could do so much here. They could make Alexa Bliss literally turn into The Fiend. They could have Randy Orton turn into The Fiend. It's like, not that all of that would be good by any means, but that could happen. I see Randy Orton losing this match, honestly. I don't know why, I just have that feeling. I could even see him, if he wins, he just gets attacked right away by The Fiend, but I just don't see him winning. I think Alexa Bliss will end up winning this match. Next, we've got Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. We've already seen this match on Raw. Apparently, they thought this match that they had on Raw the past week or 2 weeks ago was not worthy of a main event or pay-per-view match in general, just a pay-per-view match. That was insane. The match was absolutely great, and I did mention that in one of my past episodes. They lit each other up. It was quite the match, and we're going to see it again at Fastlane. And I hope we don't just get a copy and paste of the last, because this match is just a big filler for Drew versus Lashley, since Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley has already been announced for WrestleMania. They always say match is due to, or match card, what do they say? Card is due to change. Subject to change, that's what they say. Card is subject to change. They say that a lot, but I don't know why they would have any reason to change that. Drew McIntyre picked Bobby Lashley, and that's that. If Drew does lose here, it's just to fuel more for Drew and Sheamus after WrestleMania, and that's only if Bobby Lashley is set to win at WrestleMania. That's the only time. I would love to see Bobby Lashley win at WrestleMania, because I don't want him to just be a filler champion. I don't want him to just be the champion for a time. I want him to actually have a good run here. But I definitely don't. I don't know. But that's WrestleMania. We'll get into that here soon in the next 3 weeks here. But like I said, I hope it's not a copy and paste, because it's just a filler. And we need to get something that we can remember, so that it's not just remembered as a filler for a WrestleMania match that we pretty much already saw on Raw. So I got Big E and Apollo Crews up next. So this is going to be something I think could steal the show, because Big E is in my opinion, he's in his prime right now. He is in the best point of his career. He has that balance of seriousness right now, where he's back. Oh, he's almost back to that Big E Langston type. I think I've mentioned that before, but I just love this. I absolutely love this type of Big E. And then we also have Apollo Crews, who is doing the same type of thing. Apollo Crews has changed his character to something that gives him a refreshing, it's refreshing. It gives him new light for his character. He can do so much with this, and it makes sense. I see Big E coming out super strong in this match, and Apollo Crews as well. I just don't see Apollo Crews actually winning, though. I definitely see Big E winning and possibly making this go to WrestleMania. WWE is known to do the ladder matches, or big matches with 6 or 7 guys every year at WrestleMania, but they could really have a singles match this year for the Intercontinental title with these two, I think. They're both really popular, and they could definitely have a long-lasting feud that could mean something. Like I said, I think Big E wins, but I don't think it makes Apollo Crews look weak. He's going to look strong. So that way they can continue this. Maybe something happens. Maybe they get a double pin. Something along those lines, where Apollo Crews has something to complain about, so that he can get his match at WrestleMania again, so on and so forth. Oh, excuse me. Dropping pens. But yeah, I would like to see this last longer than just one angle to the pay-per-view that's only 3 weeks away from WrestleMania. Before we get into the last 2 matches, and also the I've got 10 news topics that I've got today. Not news, but yeah, I would say it's news. It is news, wrestling news. Before we get into all that, I'm going to let you guys know about Anchor, and then I will be right back. Hey everybody, I just wanted to take a quick second to shout out Anchor. Without Anchor, I would not be making this podcast. It is free, and I'm making this straight from my phone. It's super easy. You can edit it. You can split sound. Say you want to split up one segment into two, you can go ahead and do that. You can add sound to one, and the other doesn't need it. Whatever you want, basically. You can send it to Apple, Spotify, Google, and many, many other platforms. You can make money off of it without any minimum listenership. You can go just right in and start your own podcast. It's super easy. It's free, and basically everything that you need in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Let's get back to the podcast. Alrighty. Now we have the Women's Tag Team Championship match. And I believe I failed to mention that the Intercontinental title is on the line with Big E versus Apollo Crews. That's how excited I am for the actual match that I forgot the actual title is on the line. So I apologize if I failed to mention that. But we've got Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, the Women's Tag Team Champions, versus Sasha Banks, the SmackDown Women's Champion, and Bianca Belair, who is going to be facing Sasha Banks at WrestleMania for that SmackDown Women's Championship. There's a lot of things that could happen here, and it wouldn't surprise me if all of them happen at once. I think Reginald is going to play a huge part in the finish here. Reginald is Carmella's what is it, Sauvignon or whatever the hell it's called. I can't remember, but now he is like Nia Jax's boo thing or whatever. Nia Jax can't stop talking about him. Every sentence he is mentioned, and he's right there. But I think he's going to have a huge play in this because Shayna Baszler hates him, and she's been showing it a lot. I could see them break up here, and I could also see Sasha Banks turning heel. WWE does not like having face versus face matches at WrestleMania, let alone any pay-per-view in general. They're not going to turn Bianca Belair because I think they're going to have her win the title, because I think it's deserved. I think everybody can say that. But I can see Bianca Belair looking very strong here, and maybe even seeing Shayna Baszler turn face. Shayna's been showing a lot of displeasure with Nia Jax, and especially the way she acts with Reggie. So this could be actually a kind of a low-key good angle here, but I'm sort of looking forward to it. It's possible all of these things happen at once, but I think for sure Shayna and Nia will retain the titles. But I think that will happen. But it's possible Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair go into WrestleMania as tag team champions and face each other. I just don't see that. I don't see them doing that again. Not again. Not that they've done it before, but yeah. Now we have the main event. We have Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan. Roman Reigns is the Universal Champion, the head of the table, and Edge won his match against Jey Uso to become the special guest enforcer of this match. So Edge is going to be playing a tremendous part in this match. I think it's going to be a great match. I think Bryan's going to get very close to winning, but I don't think he does. I think Roman's definitely going to win this match leading into WrestleMania against Edge. And if we do get any swerve type of thing that happens here, I think it is Daniel Bryan being added to the Roman Reigns Edge match, making it a three-way, a triple threat. And this could put the button on Daniel Bryan's career, which I will be getting at here shortly. But I believe his contract's coming up soon, and this is his last full-time wrestling or WWE run in general, so this could be his send-off, his ride-off into the sunset, you could say. So, I believe Roman's winning, and this could lead to the adding of, like I said, Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. So that's the prediction. Those are my predictions for Fastlane 2021. And I believe it's going to be a good pay-per-view, but I think it's a little foolish to have a pay-per-view this close to WrestleMania. We definitely could have had Royal Rumble, which happened at the normal time it normally does. And then we definitely could have had just a late February pay-per-view, and that's it. Don't need to have a pay-per-view 3 weeks away from WrestleMania, I believe. So, with that said, let's get into a little bit of news here. I had gotten up this morning and decided to just read a little bit, and these are a few things that I've been reading about the past couple of days. I'm not going to get too in-depth on them, just a little FYI, if you could say. But first I saw Kylie Rae is going to be making a comeback. She recently just retired after leaving AEW, going to Impact, and wrestling. She signed a multi-year contract, and then she retired. But she is set to wrestle June 5th against Thunder Rosa. So that is exciting. I'm glad to see her come back. She is a really cool wrestler. She's a breath of fresh air. She's always really bubbly and nice, so that'll be good. Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa was rated 4.75 stars. This is one of the highest women's matches, if not the highest women's match rated by the Wrestling Observer newsletter ever. I don't know if there is one higher or if this is just a tie, but if, like I said in the last episode, you need to go watch this match. It is on AEW's YouTube channel. That's another thing that I recommend is subscribing to AEW's YouTube channel. They put on some seriously awesome free stuff. So go do that. This match was a 5-star match in my opinion. I don't know why. Probably because it was a hardcore match, or what they called lights out match. But yeah, go watch this match for sure. So this is what I wanted to get into about Daniel Bryan. The WWE Network, in its latter forms here as it is going away, we have been given a category called, I believe it was 2020 Hall of Fame inductees. And one of the first on there was Daniel Bryan. or 2021. I might have just said 2020. Is Daniel Bryan getting inducted into the 2021 Hall of Fame? And if this is the case, this would make sense if he gets added to the WrestleMania match and it's his send-off. Interesting. I can't say he's not deserving of it, but I can't say others aren't either. The Undertaker, which I have a very, very, very good feeling that's going to be happening. There's many people that could get in before Daniel Bryan, but I mean, it's okay. But who do you think should be in the Hall of Fame? I actually want to hear who you guys think should be in the Hall of Fame. At me on Twitter, either Twitter, doesn't matter, Monarch Mathias or We Are the WWC. I always plug those, and there's links everywhere for those, so go check that out and give me your opinion on who you think should be in the WWE Hall of Fame. Next, we've got Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley is making her Raw debut finally. Rhea Ripley faced Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania last year. And she's finally making her main roster debut. Long time coming, well deserved. I really hope they treat her correctly. WWE does a better job with the women as far as call-ups go, I think. That's just my opinion, but this was interesting. New Japan show just had to be postponed for 30 minutes because a 7.2 earthquake hit. There's a video of it. You can go check it out online. Just search it up, and Switchblade Jay White is in the middle of the ring looking around, and the camera's shaking, and you can see everybody's kind of rumbling around in their seats as well. But that's interesting. What would you do if you were at a wrestling show or any sporting event, baseball, football, basketball, anything, and a earthquake hit? What would you do? That's a pretty crazy thing to happen. This is a interesting one here as well. Charlie Caruso is rumored to be done with WWE. Charlie Caruso was the host of Raw Talk and recently was just replaced by KP. I can't remember his first name. I think it might be Kendrick Patrick or something like that. But yeah, she just got replaced by him on Raw Talk. And apparently she has some backstage heat for being late to interviews and just being tardy in general. It really sucks. She's a good interviewer, and I believe she works for ESPN or Fox. But yeah, that just goes to show people, no matter what, don't take your job for granted. Don't be late. Get there on time. And take it seriously. And speaking of people leaving, Andrade had requested his release from WWE, but was denied. So either WWE wants to just keep him for no reason, like they did Brody Lee, or they actually have something for him. Recently, also, he confirmed that he did ask for his release and said that he's just wanting to make the best for him. He wants to basically just be the best wrestler he can. So that makes sense. He wants to make money for his family, but his fiance is Charlotte Flair. So I feel like there's a little bit more there to than just him wanting to make more for himself. Today is Sting's birthday. Happy birthday, Sting. Sting just recently made his comeback in AEW, and a good one at that. This is, I believe, a good place for Sting to be right now. He recently just had the Street Fight cinematic match with Darby Allin against Brian Cage and Ricky Starks, which is an absolute awesome match. Definitely recommend watching that one. And yeah, happy birthday, Sting. Now, with WrestleMania being 3 weeks away, how excited are you for WrestleMania? Send me a message along with your opinion of who should be in the Hall of Fame. Are you excited for WrestleMania? What are you excited to see? Are you watching on Peacock? I'll be watching on Peacock. Speaking of Peacock, it was just announced today that all WWE live pay-per-views are going to be running ad-free on Peacock, which is tremendous. There was one catch that we can't go forwards, backwards, or pause, which is interesting, but apparently they say that could be added later on, which I assume they will. But no ads, and already if you're paying for the $9.99 version of Peacock, you're going to be getting everything on the network plus no ads, plus everything on Peacock. The Office, that's the only thing I know of. I'm sorry, but yeah. So that's the episode. Let me hit the music, and I'll get you with the intro. Outro. I'll hit you with the outro. Alright, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I want to thank everybody that has been reaching out as far as Twitter or personally. I thank you so much for all the support and everything that you guys are doing for me. Tomorrow is Fastlane, as you know, since this is the prediction episode. So I will be making a review of Fastlane sometime next week. Probably won't be on Monday. I think I'm going to wait for my PC to get here before I do my review of Fastlane. So it might be a Wednesday or Thursday, maybe after that. I might be doing 2 weekend episodes. So that'll give me 2 episodes next week for sure, with the Fastlane review and the review of everything coming after Fastlane, and that being Raw and SmackDown, NXT, and AEW. So once again, thank you so much for tuning in. You guys are all much appreciated. And yeah, you get on with your get on. It's a beautiful day outside. What time is it? It's almost 6 o'clock for me. So I'm gonna make some dinner. No, actually I'm not. I'm gonna go get some dinner. So yeah, and I'm hungry. See you guys.